Oh, hey, hi guys, it's me, Sean Capri. This is We the GamerCast, and before we start today's show, we got to thank all of our amazing patrons at patreon.com/makeusbetter, like our platinum executive producers, Corey Hicks at twitch.tv/chicks_18, and Mr. Mark Moody at youtube.com/outoflives, our gold executive producers, Mike BC and Panache Malloy, and our executive producers, brand new as of like 2 seconds ago, Brendan freaking Myers, back as an executive producer. Thank you so much, Brendan Myers. Tony Hutchinson, Donnie. You know what, Donnie? I'm not even going to apologize because it's you. Donnie Reece, ain't no cheese and play Nintendo. Stephen Iafrate, JoeySplats, Caro, Underwood, Dante, Bellini Jr., highly intelligent man himself, Jared Gauthier, Dude427, Kevin Austin, Josh Bloodborne Borbone, Tammi Ryan, Robert Bobby Miller, Tim Aulph, Martini Jean, and David freaking Ray. Thank you guys so much. Now let's get on with the show. Hey everyone, it's me, Sean Capri, and welcome to episode 169 of We the GamerCast. It comes to you every Monday, except for last Monday, on iTunes, Google Play, or Apple Podcasts, or wherever they're called, everywhere you get your podcasts. Also, youtube.com/WeTheNerdy, Mondays, whatever. Rate us on iTunes, subscribe, give us a thumbs up, leave us comments, let the guests know that you love them. Guys, thank you so much. I'm glad to be back. I was gone last week. A few backups, quite a few. The backups of the backups of the backups just didn't really pan out, and all of a sudden I didn't have an episode. And I apologize for that, guys. But at the same time, I hope that you will appreciate the new energy that I've got today, obviously. And sometimes it's kind of just nice to just kind of take a moment. Even though last week I was a guest on the Game Moose podcast, so thanks for that, guys. That also dropped on Monday, so you got your little bit of Sean Phil there. And then I got back from Toronto on technically Tuesday night, started streaming again on Wednesday night, so we're back into it. We've got the Xbox Drive rolling. Everything is great. We did If We Ran Nintendo, so it's not like I've really been away, but for some reason taking last week off with the GamerCast just kind of got a little refresh. So I'm stoked. Guys, this is a great episode with Johnathan Brown. Johnathan and I have chatted a couple times before, mostly just over Twitter or chat or whatever, just kind of the typical internet conversations. And today we take it to the next level. It's really good. We're going to talk about college and going to college, why you go to college, and all these other things, going to music. It's an amazing conversation. I'm super aware of me being stuffed up, though. I think I'm starting to sound a little better, but I just there's something kind of blocking there, and all I want to do is just give it that good satisfying snort, but I'm not I'm definitely not gonna do that. But guys, I'm way ahead of myself. If you're new, here's the deal. Every week I have sweet hangs with strangers from the internet, and if you want to be on the show, it's very easy. Just tweet at me at Sean Capri, Sean like Connor, Capri like the pants. There is so much to freaking talk about today. I'm gonna try and keep it tight because I gotta get you to Johnathan Brown, Purple Monkey Entertainment. He has a song that we're gonna hear in a second as well. I want to thank Miranda Carvel, my guest from 2 weeks ago. Miranda, if you guys missed it, we talked all about taking care of yourself, really, and it's just one of those feel good chicken noodle soup for the soul type of episodes, and so that was sweet. On the last weekend, I was in Toronto, as I mentioned, and I got to stream for Xbox Canada. In case you guys weren't there and you didn't know, I was supposed to play Rocket League, okay? And Rocket League didn't work out, and so they're like, well, you're gonna play Halo and stuff. I'm like, I could do some Halo. I haven't played in a little bit, but I can hold my own in Halo. That's all right. And then that didn't work out because apparently I don't know how to navigate the freaking Master Chief Collection the menu or anything. Couldn't get the thing started. So then they're like, okay, let's just play Fortnite, and that's it. I'm like, okay. So we play Fortnite, and I'm awful at Fortnite. And I want to give a shout out to Calo and Mr. Babbitt and Nintendo Guru and Luke Lore. And gosh, I'm sorry, I'm just rambling off the top of my head here, guys. I'm sorry. There's so many people there. And the reason I want to tell you this story, not because I'm awful at Fortnite, but Brock and I had so much fun, and it was so ridiculous. And I had such a great time. We were laughing, and we were chatting back and forth. And Xbox Canada contacted me, and they said that was the most engagement that they had all weekend, or one of the most engaged hours that they had. And it's because of you guys. You guys were there ahead of time and waiting and there and chatting back and forth, and just like the fun that we have at twitch.tv/Capri, we had there at mixer.com/Xbox Canada. And I have got to tell you guys, it means the world to me on a personal level, very humbling. It's just kind of like one of those signs that maybe like I'm not completely out of my mind for doing this stuff. So thank you for that. It's always reassuring. And then just to have accolades coming in from Xbox Canada say like, look, like if you're ever in town again, like we want to have you do that again. Or you could do some code streaming from home, and we will let you know when those opportunities come up. And that's just like, what just happened? Like, I just played Fortnite badly for an hour in front of people on the internet, and like a door opens? That's very strange. So thank you to Xbox Canada. Thank you to you guys for being there. Thank you to Brock McLaughlin for lining all of that stuff up. I am beyond grateful and just trying to like keep my head. You know what I mean? But just, moving and grooving. It's all thanks to your guys' support. Whether it's watching, reviewing, sharing, engaging is the number one thing, especially in Xbox land, because units aren't being sold. So we got to look at engagement as I thank them. I slam the brand. Guys, I'm stoked. I just got my speaking of Xbox, I just got my Spider-Man my Spidey Pro, as I'm calling it. The thing is freaking massive, and as I was saying on Twitter, as much as I slam PlayStation for all the things, like I can't change my name, I finally, I had to spend, what is this thing, $500 to get a USB port in the back, so I finally have one of those. But all the things that I slam on it, it was so easy for me to back up my Destiny white PS4 onto an external drive, and then I traded it in because I couldn't do the trade-in at the midnight launch where I got my Spidey thing. So there was a brief period where I didn't have a PlayStation at all. So if that backup didn't work, I would have been totally screwed. I would have lost PT, and I would have lost Marvel Ultimate Alliance 1 and 2, because those are digital only and you can't re-download them off of the digital store. So I was very grateful that all worked out well. I will be streaming Spidey this week. But the other thing I will be streaming is Shadow of the Tomb Raider, which I just got a code just after that whole the greatness that happened with Xbox Canada. They're like, look, I don't know if you got a code already, but here it is, and you can stream it if you like. So I definitely will be, and I freaking love the Tomb Raider game, so I'm stoked about that. I'm planning on Tuesday, but I just have to figure some stuff out. So tomorrow, check out twitch.tv/SeanCapri. Hopefully I'll be streaming that if the code isn't working today. Like, I've downloaded the game, but usually you have to get like an early unlock code, so I got to work out some stuff. Anyways, I got a couple more minutes. I got like maybe one more minute. I want to tell you guys something. Being sick on vacation is awful, but I'm super thankful to my lovely wife, Chelsea. Gave me like the last day we flew home late at night, so I basically just slept most of the day, which meant that I had the energy and the ability to like be there for her and for Lincoln on the flight, which was definitely needed. And it meant that I was able to go to work on Wednesday mostly well rested, I think. So I still, obviously, like, it's still kind of here. But being sick on vacation sucks. And it just, why does that happen? It happens all the time. Maybe it's just like your body finally gives you a little bit of a rest, all the stress of work and the regular life. It's a thing. So, but that's not what I wanted to talk to you guys about, really. The thing is, on Sunday, tomorrow, or yesterday, as you're listening to this, I will be doing a 10-kilometer run for suicide prevention. There's a local charity here that does some great work, and more importantly, it's a way for my good friend who took his own life a number of years ago, right around Christmas time, actually, which is awful. It means a lot for the family, and it means a lot to have like a whole big team, and we do some great fundraising. So I've been doing a couple 10Ks on a treadmill very, very slowly. So this should be interesting, but check out, I'll try to update you guys on either Twitter or whatever. Not that I'm trying to pimp that, but I want to let you guys know how it went, and I'll let you know next week as well how that all goes. It's usually a very heavy weekend. It's great because it's a good way for us to remember and celebrate his life and to be there for the family. But for all of those reasons, it's a heavy weekend as well. So that's a thing that I'm going to be doing tomorrow. I'm going to be playing Spidey and Shadow of the Tomb Raider this week. So lots of stuff going on, guys. But with all of that said, with all of that out of the way, hi Joseph. We're going to talk to one of the greatest and coolest people on the internet. There's a realization that I have about midway through this conversation that I hope you guys giggle at. But why don't we get right into it? Let's talk about music, college, Kingdom Hearts, Mario 64, and all the rest of this stuff. Here he is, Johnathan Brown. You can follow him on Twitter, PurpleM13. Here he is, Johnathan Brown.
I would say that I'm like naturally smart, you know? Because even like in high school, it's weird. Because in high school, homework wasn't really a thing for me. Like, I never did homework. Like, not that we had homework and I didn't do it, but more of we had homework, but I would do it in class because I had the time. It's different here because in class, most of it is just like learning, and they don't tell us what the assignment is until the end of the class. So I'm like, okay, I can't do it now. I have to like
actually pay attention.
Yeah, surprisingly. So I have to manage my time outside of class. Yeah, which isn't like that hard. Besides the fact that I have homework that I should be doing, but it is okay.
I love it, man. I love it. Well, you know, and I want to say it was just yesterday that I went to college, but like, no, man, it was. I'm realizing now, like it's been a little while, so it's pretty soon. The gray hairs are gonna be popping up here. But I remember when I went to university and I was dating a girl at the time, and she was like, "Are you nervous? Are you like?" Because I had taken some time off after high school, and you had just graduated in June, right? And like I took some time just to kind of like figure out what I wanted to do, and I really didn't have like any of my stuff in order or anything like that. And then like when the time came, it just felt right. So I just kind of like went to it, and I didn't really think twice about it. And I'm always curious, like you just went right from high school to college, so like. Was that just the way it always was going to be? Was that part of the plan the whole time? Was there ever any, like, second guessing at all?
It wasn't really second guessing because when I got the senior year, well, one thing I should say is at first I wasn't going to be a music major.
Okay.
When I was, like, in middle school, like, what I had in my head was, okay, because I like drawing. I like art, and I still draw a little bit, but when I would draw, I would be like, okay, this is what I want to do. I want to do game design. That's what I first originally wanted to do. But then once I started getting in high school and started getting a little more serious about music, I was like, yeah, okay, this is what I want to do instead, which is why I bought my little launch key, which is what I make most of my music off of. And that's when I kind of started to get more into it. And then I was like, okay, yeah, I'm going to do music production, well, music industry. But for the decision, it was kind of, well, I technically didn't really have a choice because
there it is. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, if it was my choice, I probably would have went because I do want to get more knowledge about like music theory and like, you know, like time signatures, all that other kind of stuff. But my parents, when senior year started, they were like, look, your brother did this. So you either have two choices. You're either going to go to college or you're going to go into Army Reserves.
Oh, snap. And what did your brother do?
He went into the Army.
Oh, wow.
I mean, he's like working so that he can get back into college. But he went into the Army. So they said that either you go to the Army and get the money so that you can go to college afterwards, or you just go straight into college. And for me, like, when I had the choice in my head, like, first thing I thought was, like, I'm definitely not going to the Army. I didn't think anything of it, but I was just like, I don't want to do it.
Yeah, that doesn't sound, I mean, all respect, amazing for people who do it, right? But it's like, ooh, could be tough.
Yeah, but then, like, I thought about it even more, and I was like, yeah, I definitely don't want to do this.
Have you talked to your brother about it at all?
I talked to him a little bit.
What does he think?
He basically said, I support whatever you're going to do. Yeah. Because at the end of the day, as long as you're happy doing, like, because he knows that I want to do music. My whole family knows I want to get into music production and all that kind of stuff. So basically they all were like, as long as, well, my brother specifically, he was like, I understand that you didn't want to go into it. And honestly, I don't see you in the Army. Yeah. I see you doing exactly what you're doing right now. So.
Is he comfortable in the Army?
Yeah, for the most part. Yeah, I mean, besides the fact that he complains about it, but when you think about it, who doesn't complain about, like, having
pretty much anything?
Take a whole weekend just to go do some stuff, and then they not do anything, but that's not the point.
Is he
But
like
yeah,
stationed somewhere right now? Like, what's his?
nah, it's reserved. So
Yeah,
instead
okay.
of him being like stationed in one place, they'll basically be like, you have to take, I think, a weekend.
Yeah.
I think you have to take one weekend out of each month, and or like out of, I don't specifically remember, but I know that like every other weekend he
Mm-hmm.
would like go to some station and he would like do a couple things, like a little bit of training,
Yeah.
and then he would come back. And then I know that sometimes instead of just being a weekend, he'll take like a week,
Yeah.
and he'll like go and he'll like do a whole bunch of training. Like last time it was the week, I think he went to California. So
Okay.
yeah.
Well, that's part of the gig, right? You get flown out around the world. That's how they get you.
Yeah.
Right, Johnny Casino and Chris Berto and everyone, all the guys, man. I haven't talked to an Army person on the show in a long time, man. So I'm also curious, like, what sort of like power do your parents have, or maybe like there's something with the Army that I'm not aware of. Like, how do you force one to go into the Army?
I honestly don't know. Like,
it's amazing.
cause my brother was having a little bit of financial problems with like Army and stuff like that, right? I mean, not with the Army, but with college.
Yeah.
So, like, he was there, and then my parents were like, "Look, we don't have the money for this, so you only really have one choice." He didn't want to at first, but once he got into it, he was like, "I'm thankful. I'm glad that I did this because now, I mean, I'm doing something besides just like trying to getting a job, and he's doing something besides just like working his regular job." Instead, he's like getting this extra paycheck every once in a while so that he could like put a little bit aside towards college and then a little bit aside for himself. So, I mean, he's happy in it for the most part, as long as he's not lying to me.
Do you get to talk to him often? Do you guys chat a lot?
Yeah, he's home. He is home. It's not like he's like at station somewhere or anything like that. But yeah, every once in a while I would call. Like the other day, I was begging for money. Jokingly, because I was playing Fortnite and I realized I was like, dang, I really don't have anything to play, and I also brought my Wii U with me, so I was looking through all the like virtual console games, and I say all like it's a lot, but it's only 4 of them.
Yeah.
And then I was like, I kind of want another Nintendo 64
As in like
game.
4 that you don't have? What do you mean there's only 4?
It's only 4 virtual console games that I have on my Wii U.
Oh, I see what you mean. I thought you were like shopping around. Okay, I got you.
But so like I saw Super Mario 64 and I was like, I've never played the original Super Mario 64. I played the one on DS, but never the original.
Oh,
so
DS.
I called him.
Why did they start you as Yoshi?
I don't know.
What in the world?
Weird.
I thought
that was really weird.
Dude, I thought it was broken the first time I played that. I thought there was like some sort of glitch. I'm like shaking my DS and stuff. I'm like, what the shit is
Yoshi?
This is not the right game.
Yeah. So I just like texted him. I was like, hey, you want to like send me $10? He was like, why? I said, because I kind of want a game. He was like, no. Then he explained that he has some stuff to pay for. But then my mom low-key snitched on him.
Yeah.
Because I called her and I asked her for some money. And she was like, yeah, I don't know why Josh didn't give it to you. He's going to GameStop tonight. I was like,
snap.
Yeah, he was going to get Spider-Man, actually. So she kind of snitched on him. And I called, exactly. I called him once he left. He was like, you saw my Snapchat, didn't you? I was like, yep.
Oh my. That's the like, so like multiple people know in multiple different ways that he's still like straight up lies to your face.
What? I still got the money.
From your mom?
Nah. Someone from my church actually gave Josh my older brother Josh $20, and then he sent me the $20 through like Bank of America. So it worked out in the end.
Amazing, dude.
Yep.
Like come hell or high water. And I also love you're not asking for a lot of money. Like it's not like
I'm
you're
not.
It's $10.
I never do ask for a lot of money.
I went to high school with a guy, and he's still very much like this, and he's loaded. Like this guy his family owns businesses, and he is well off. But he would go around asking people for a quarter, like, hey man, I just need, or even like a nickel. I'm like, hey man, I just need a nickel. Like you got to like yeah, like I guess I'll just give you my spare change. I guess that's what we're doing.
Yeah.
And he would do it to enough people, they'd be like, I'm gonna go buy a Slurpee. Like he would just like.
Wow.
That's what he would do. I don't know. There's a game to him though, a little bit.
They did that in high school for us too. Like this one dude who would always come around and ask me for a penny every day. I didn't have it.
Penny.
A penny, and that never really clicked for me until you just said that, and I was like, that must be what he's doing.
He was totally. You see him like walking down the halls, and he's got jingling in his pockets and everything.
Yeah.
Or he's that old man, like the little like coin purse or whatever.
Oh yeah.
Maybe I think he was actually filling up like his Scrooge McDuck pool of money that he's just gonna like swim around in and stuff.
Trying to swim. That's it.
Yeah, maybe just a bathtub. Somebody should do that. I could imagine John Wall from the Megadads actually just taking a penny and nickel. Maybe Dude 427 as well. Oh my gosh, dude. So okay, so your parents give you this ultimatum of army or college. Ultimately, like army is the option as the other option because there's still schooling there. Is that what the mentality was? Is that if you don't go to school on your own, that the army will still kind of like train you or educate you in that way?
Well, it wasn't really that. It was more of the fact that the army would pay for school.
That's what I mean. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's the main reason they really wanted me to go, because they were like, they either wanted me to get like a whole bunch of scholarships, which, funny enough, I didn't get any.
Did you not apply?
I did.
Oh snap! Oh no! Okay, so that's why I didn't apply, because I was like, that's no guarantee, and that sounds like a lot of work. So like, no thanks.
So I applied to a lot of them and didn't get any, but I mean, I'm still here. So, but yeah, the biggest reason they wanted me to go into the army was for the fact that they were like, okay, the army will pay for school, and if that happened, then you could definitely get through school and like without having to pay for that much, you know. And the ultimate reason I didn't really want to is because I wouldn't be able to like while I was there, I wouldn't be able to do like my music stuff, you know, because music, for me at least, I would just be like thinking, and then like all of a sudden maybe like some lyrics would come up, and I would just like quickly like write them down on my phone, or like a rhythm would come up, and I would just like keep singing it until I get back in here, and then I'll be able to like key it in. But like that was the main reason, because I don't even have my guitar here because it's an electric guitar, and I'm not carrying that around. So like it's kind of easier for me to be like, okay, like when I'm here, I could think of a rhythm and I'll be like, okay, I could like key that in or like beat that in real quick, instead of me being in the army where I would have to like write everything down, and then when I get home, put everything in if I can even remember it, because I have very bad memory.
That's super
when it comes to that.
Oh man, any creative thought is fleeting for sure. Where you're like, this is the best, and you're in it, and you're like, don't forget, and then you realize that all you're saying to yourself is don't forget, and the thought of the actual thing you're trying not to forget is like just getting pushed back, and it's gone. Yeah, man. Everybody right now who's like most people I think listening to this are creative people, and they're just like, yeah, that's definitely happened. That's why I have like so many notepads, dude. Like it's ridiculous. And I've got like literally like a piece of paper just fell out of my notepad, as if like I need that. Why would you like, this thing is chock full of paper. That's what it's made out of. Why do I need additional sheets of paper in here? This is ridiculous. But I love that like no matter what, like college was going to be a thing. Music came a little bit later on for you. What other like kind of options were you thinking about? Drawing, game design?
Drawing was kind of the only thing, because like going in, because by the way, I should mention this, my high school is a middle school and a high school.
Okay, what'd you think of that?
So I mean, it was weird, because like it's not like sectioned off, but like the cafeteria is kind of where everything meets, you know. It's like a cafeteria. Sounds
terrifying. For everybody in middle school.
The cafeteria is where everything meets, and then it's like a little lounge in front of it. Once you get into that lounge, like if you're looking straight, you can see not the entire, but you see a majority of the middle school hall. So it was kind of weird for me to be like start in middle school and kind of go through that entire thing, and then it's like an end, and I have to start in the other side of the school, a part that I've never really been to besides like chorus classes.
Yeah. That's crazy that what do you think of that? Like, is that the better way to do it, to kind of keep it like, because the goal like with mixing them all together, I'm imagining, is just to make it less terrifying, but then you still kind of like have your separate areas. You like, you might as well be in different buildings. Like that's kind of strange to me. It
is strange, because like it's moments where I would be in the like high school hall just walking, and then like I would see like two middle schoolers, and I'd be like, what in the world are y'all doing here? Like there's no reason that you should be here besides like the office. But it was strange, but it felt kind of like natural, because even like middle school hall, it wasn't like an upstairs and downstairs. It was one big building.
Yep.
With everything in it. But high school hall, it was like you have to go upstairs for certain classes, downstairs for certain classes, and then like
okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, and then I understand the middle school is coming over there sometimes. Cause like I said, the office is over there. You have to get through there to get through the gym, depending on where you're at, and then the library is over there too. So it wasn't like as weird as it may seem.
But you were in the same school for essentially 6 years. Is that how that worked? And then you got to leave that in June, and now you're recording this in a dorm, right? You're no longer at home. You moved away from home. You're all on your own. How's Eden? How are you eating? Yeah. How's your nutrition, man?
First 2 days here, I didn't eat anything. I literally, this is all I ate. First 2 days,
what the hell
this
is
all
that?
I ate.
Stacks?
Sour cream and onion. That's all I ate. I didn't eat anything but that.
Oh
and
my
then
gosh.
My friend who came here with me, he was like, Johnathan, you really need to eat something. And I was like, I know, but I'm trying to get used to this.
Yeah.
Which is a very bad idea. But
no,
like
me and you are the exact same, man. Because like when I moved out, and I was like, I actually like a lot of people will gain a lot of weight when they move out because like they just like order pizza in all the time or whatever. They eat really bad. I'm super cheap, and like I don't really like to cook at all. So like that basically means like I guess I'm not eating.
Yeah, that's basically what I said. Like not even with the cooking, because surprisingly I didn't know like outside of our dorm. There's like a little, we call it our living room because it's right in front of our dorm.
Right. It's like a
little it's like a little lounge area, but it's like a microwave in there, and I didn't know about it until I got here. So the next time I saw my mom, I got like two boxes of Hot Pockets.
Oh man.
Because I like sometimes I just don't feel like going to the caf. I just don't. But one good thing about it is that we have a thing called Flex Dollars, which we can use at any of the restaurants on campus. So if I don't feel like going to the caf, which they like open and close at certain times, I could just run to like Chick-fil-A or like Papa John's or something and just
love it. I love that those are the two, like, aren't those like the most controversial restaurants going right now?
Exactly.
Like we don't have either of those.
They are my not my two favorite, but they up there.
I love you. Like whatever, man. Just eat the food and that's it.
Just give me some chicken and let me go to my dorm, please.
So you're not going to college to go to line up in any rallies or protests or anything. It's just enjoy the college life. Is your schedule manageable? Like, are you going crazy? Are you good?
Well, okay. At first, my schedule was basically all of my general education classes. But then a couple weeks after we got here, my academic advisor, he contacted me. He was like, hey, you need to do this, this, and this, where I had to actually audition and come up here. And I had to, like, sing 2 songs because my instrument for my major is voice.
Wow.
So I had to come up here. I had to sing my 2 songs. And then once I got back, I told him that my audition went good. And then he was like, okay, look, this is what you need to do. Send this person your schedule, and she will rearrange it so that it's good for this semester.
Oh, nice.
So at this moment, which is not going to change, Mondays, I'm taking 4 classes. Tuesday is 3. Well, Tuesday and Thursday is 3.
Right.
And then Wednesday, I have 5.
What?
Yeah. It's weird because
that's too many.
It is.
That's like the whole day, man. Are you going into the evening too with that?
It's not. All those classes basically.
Are they just back to back to back to back?
Sorta, yeah.
So maybe this is good though, because like you're just coming from high school, so like that's probably what it was like for you then too. Like for me, like college I got a little spoiled, man, because I took my time with that stuff and everything. Like I went on like the better part of a decade getting my degree, and like it was crazy because like some days I'd have like 2 or 3 classes, but like time in between. So if you need a nap, you can take a nap. If you need to study or whatever, cram, you could do that and everything. But like it was different from high school where it was just like everything was just like slotted in a row. So like maybe it's good. Don't get spoiled because you get a little like complacent with that.
I hope I don't. but I can't see the naps thing that you mentioned. I can't do that because if I take a nap, I'm gonna mess around and wake up. I'm gonna go to sleep at like 1 and mess around and wake up at 4 o'clock, and I'm gonna be like, "What happened?"
But what about games? Like, are you able to play games at all while you're in school and stuff?
Yeah, for the most part.
Yeah. What you playing?
I got like I said, Fortnite, Super Mario 64.
Yeah.
That's about it. But games basically like, cause all my classes basically start every day at 9.
Okay, that's okay. 9's okay.
And I'm used to.
And you're right there.
Early either way.
Yeah.
It's funny. All my classes are basically right across the street from where I'm staying at.
That's sweet, man.
They're all in that same building too, so I can just run. I can go right over there, and all my classes are in there. But like I said, most of my classes start at 9. Tuesdays and Thursdays they end at 12. No, they end at 1.
Oh, that's okay.
Yeah, then Monday and Wednesday, most of the time they end at 3:20.
Sweet, man. Is it everything you dreamed that it would be? Like, what were your expectations going into college? Were you like I don't know. It's just so weird. Like, it's just so different, and like it's always on movies and everything. Like the college life and everything. You're like, what were your expectations versus like what's actually happening right now?
That's kind of how I took it, because college was kind of a new thing for me. Besides, like my brother going there for like a year or two. And I would go up there and visit them, but never to the point where I would stay a night. And then I'd be like, okay, so you're going to this class, and this is how it is. So, like, the most of, like, expectations I had was, like, watching TV and seeing movies. Like, it's weird, because the one thing that I watched that, like, when I think of college, it's not even a show about college. It's about a boarding school. And, like, it's Zoe 101. Because, like, that was like they would go to their classes or whatever, and then it'd be like all this drama outside of class and inside of class, and it's weird because it's kind of similar to it. Yeah, which is the weird thing. Like, I would be like going to these classes and then like having these assignments to do and all that other kind of stuff, and like projects, like these not weird, but like strange projects. Like one project I have to do is like I have to, because like I said, I'm a music major. I have to take 4 instruments that she gave us, and we have to make like a 16 measure song out of it. And I've never used any of these instruments in my life.
What, like she hands you, like you don't even get to choose which ones they are?
I don't even know if we're like able to like have them. I'm just gonna like literally look up a sound of each of them and kind of base it off of that,
Okay.
That's what I'm gonna do. But it's weird. So she basically was like, yeah, you have to take these 4 instruments, make a 16 measure song out of it, and present it in front of the class. And I don't know how I'm going to play all 4 instruments at the same time, but I will manage it.
Each one with a hand and foot, just piano over here, maybe a drum over here.
It's weird, too. It's not even like melodic instruments. It's not like a guitar or a piano. They're all percussion, which is like with drumsticks or like it's like one sound. It's not like different pitches. It's one sound. So I'm gonna get it together though. I'm gonna get it.
How the heck do you even approach something like that?
Don't ask.
I guess we haven't started yet. He's like, I don't know, man. I just wanted to do this podcast first. I was gonna worry about homework later.
This was my main priority this entire weekend.
Oh, thanks, man. I'm stoked. After this, I hope to clear out all the stuff that you're hearing up in my nose and up in my throat and everything at some point. I'm just trying not to like sniffle everybody's, just like last night on If We Ran Nintendo. But how many songs do you have going out in the community right now? Because like all of a sudden, and you've been supporting Bobby and I for like pretty much since the beginning, I think, which is incredible. You listen to old men just ramble on while you're like, I don't know what these guys are complaining about, like gaming. It's great. Like how many? So you got a song in the Xbox Drive, you got a song on the trophy room and everything. Like what else have you got going on in the community? People may have heard.
Okay, so like I said, I have one for the Xbox Drive. I have one for the PlayStation Podcast, which is only like on Spotify, like the audio versions. And then I have the
come on, Joseph, get it on video, man. What are you doing, bad bit?
I have the outro for Breaking Bells.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, and then in one of Patrick's videos, I know he used one of the songs that I gave him, which was from Star Fox, if I'm correct. But, I mean, that's about it. And it's weird because Turbo Jesse, he asked me to make one because he was starting to get his new like intro and stuff, right? And I made it, and it's weird. like it was weird because I've never worked with that genre. He wanted me to do like a retro funk thing, and that was way out of my.
That
like,
sounds awesome.
Way out. I mean, I tried.
Yeah.
It didn't work out because like I sent it to him. He was like, I like it, but I'm like, it just depends on like whether or not it goes with the outro. I mean the intro. So, I mean, he hasn't used it yet. I'm not mad at him or nothing.
I want to listen to it. I want to hear it.
I don't even know if I have it.
What's your like? Okay, so like even like we're talking a little bit before about like jotting down ideas and like how many of those kind of actually manifest into an actual song or a thing. Not necessarily like the ratio, but like do you have like a catalog of song ideas or riffs or melodies or rhythms or something that you've like kind of like created or started and never really got to anything? Like I'm always curious of like what's in music, what is the version of like an artist like scribbling something down and go like no, that's not it, and they throw it away, but it's still like in like a full basket, like it still exists even though if you've kind of like tossed it aside.
For me, like the way I work with my music is really weird because sometimes I would take like a sample from a song or like a loop, right? Excuse me. I would work on it a little bit, and then it's not that I would get tired of it, but I would just be like, okay, I'm done working on this for a little bit. I'm gonna go to something else. Like literally last night, I was thinking of Zelda's Lullaby from Legend of Zelda. I was just like singing the melody in my head. Well, called it like the background melody. I was singing it in my head, and then I was like, you know what, F it. I'm gonna like kind of delay some of the notes and like play that in, and I played it in, and then I was like, you know what, I'm gonna add a little drum to it. I'm gonna add this, that, and then I stopped, and then I was like, okay, because that wasn't what I originally was gonna do. Originally, I was gonna take a sample from Gerudo Valley from Ocarina of Time, and I was gonna do something with that, but the download was taking too long. So I was like, F it, I'm gonna do something else. And then by the time I finished it, I looked and it downloaded, and I haven't done anything with the Gerudo Valley thing. Not a damn thing.
It wasn't meant to be for that time, man. One day you're gonna come back to it and go like, that'll be the thing, that'll be the magic. Unless I just jinxed it. I might have just jinxed it just now.
It's okay. It's so many songs that I have on there where like I've started it but never finished it, and I've never went back into it.
Is it like, mostly like Nintendo that inspires you for like things to sample or to loop or draw from?
Well, sometimes it's Nintendo, and then sometimes I would hear like a song from like just like an artist that I really like, and then I would kind of like transpose it, which if for the people out there that don't know, that basically means like changing the pitch. So instead of it being like a real low thing, it'll be like real high, you know? So sometimes I would take parts of songs, I would do that, and then like I would add like a little beat into it. Like one I did recently with a song that I really love is called Favorite Colors. It's by Taylor Bennett and Kyle, who's like, they're both like rappers. And the beginning of it, I really liked it. So I took that part, because I tried to do this when I first had my launch key. When I first got my music production stuff together, I tried this, and it just didn't work out. So then the other day, I was just sitting there, and I was like, I'm going to try this again. So I tried again, and basically, I went the opposite way with it. Because when I first tried it, I made it lower. But this time, I made it higher, and then, like, everything just clicked. And I was like, yeah, this is what I'm doing. And I had everything. I laid it out, and I did it, and I finished it, but it's not a song where I would like, give it to somebody so they could use, because I have no clue how copyrights work now. I have no clue how copyrights work. But the closest I'll get to like people seeing it is like on my Instagram, because a lot of times I would post like videos of like my Instagram and on
is
my
that
Instagram,
purple M?
Like,
is that purple M13 on Instagram as well?
My Instagram, it sounds weird. It does, because it's kind of my name. It's my nickname and then my last name and then a number. But I don't like my nickname with my last name doesn't sound right. Like Johnny Brown does not sound right.
That sounds awesome.
It doesn't sound right to me.
What do you mean? Johnny Brown's amazing.
At some point, I am going to change it.
I don't know, man. Wait until at least some people. If you guys like Johnny Brown, please reach out. At least on Twitter, Purple M13. Seriously, that sounds awesome. Johnny Brown, I love it.
Yeah, because the whole Instagram, if I'm correct, is Johnny.Brown 13.
I think it's just get rid of the dot. Just clean it up a little bit. Johnny Brown 13. That's sweet,
At
man.
Some point, I was thinking to make it PME.JIB. Because for the people that don't know, my full name is Johnathan Isaiah Brown.
Mm-hmm.
So JIB, then PME kind of rhymes, which is weird too.
Mm-hmm. Isaiah's a badass middle name, dude.
Mm.
That's pretty good. Is
Thank you.
that from the church?
Yeah.
Yeah.
My first name is
Johnathan is from the and because it's spelled very specifically like John.
Mm-hmm.
So where's the story there?
I don't really know. Honestly,
Yeah, just knows from.
All I know is that my name is from the Bible,
Mm-hmm.
and it was a while ago that I figured out where exactly, because my mom always told me, she was like, yeah, your name is in the Bible, but I never knew where. So like it was just one day in church where they said, like, they were talking about the David and Goliath, and then like after they mentioned Johnathan, and I was like, wait, so Johnathan was David's best friend? And it's really funny how one of my best friends' names is David.
Amazing, dude. That's like just the universe telling you like
Exactly.
everything's gonna be okay. You're in the right place. I could just imagine if Johnathan is the best friend, way back in the olden days, David's about to go for this fight and everything. He's gonna be incredible, and Jonathan's gotten his intro music. It's like wrestling intro music. That's what Johnathan was. But they don't tell that story. He's got that hype music going. That's your story, man. That would be incredible.
Yep. That's the story of Johnathan. That's it, right there.
Yeah. How are you still able to go to church? Were you going to church often before?
Back home, it was sort of like, it was, well.
How far away
when
from
I
home
was
are you?
Young, hour.
Okay. So it's like,
So it's not that far.
No, but that's like there's a certain distance, and it's different depending on like where you live or like what the metropolitan area you are. Like there's a certain distance where it's like if you're an hour away, you might as well be 100 hours away. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like my parents live like 40 minutes away, and it's like, man, if you're they might as well be a week away sometimes.
Yeah.
So like I don't want to downplay an hour away at all, because like that's a good distance. That's a 2 hours round trip minimum.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like the other weekend, my brother, like I went home for the weekend because it was Labor Day, and they were having a cookout, so they wanted me to come home. So my brother, he came down, got me, and we went back. And then I think next weekend, I'm going back home because revival at my church is happening. So they want me to be. Well, my mom asked me, did I want to come, and I know she wanted to hear yes, but she's not going to admit it.
They were playing the Eminem album. That's kind of strange.
Yeah, in
the
church,
revival.
right there.
Yeah, it's so weird.
But yeah, like church when I was younger, it was sort of kind of a mandatory thing, because when you're younger, you kind of want to instill that into your child, where it's like Jesus is a very important part of your life. So you want them to grow up and be like, this is something that you need to know about, and this is something that you need to focus on at some point in time. So like that happened, and then when I got older, it was more of like, as I got older, they had me on the dance team when I was like 3, and then I started getting to the choir, then youth stuff and all that kind of stuff. So it was more of like I had a duty to be there too, and then after a while, I became the sole youth of it, if that makes sense. Like in the choir, I would be the loudest voice, or like in dance, I would be the most, like, not the most energetic. I'm not gonna say that because I feel like someone will see this and then try to like rat me out. But I would be like, I would be like one of the bigger like pictures in it. That makes sense.
Yeah, but I found it kind of hard to believe. I don't know why. I still like, even though like you're here talking to me and like and you're a great storyteller, I still kind of find like I still sense like a little bit of like shyness. I don't know. Is that?
I do.
Yeah, like it's so maybe it's just like right place, right time, or like we're like in a comfort zone. You're like, yeah, let's go for it. Let's go sing. Let's go dance and stuff.
Yeah, like, and then like after a while, like they were like, okay, Jonathan's about to graduate, and it was funny because the last choir practice I went to, the piano player, he was like, okay, look, before we leave, we got to find a new soloist because Jonathan's leaving, and we're not gonna do anymore. We're not
close it all down. We're all done.
I joked about that with Mom, so I was like, Mom, just stop doing it. Yep. Then she was like, no, because the kids have to be in it some way. So, like, out here, I don't really go to church. Even though there is a church, like, right down the street, that's a walk. And I'm not making that walk. But I got my Bible right here. Yeah. I got my Bible with me, and I'm good.
You read it, like, every day kind of thing, or is it once a week? Like, what's the routine?
Okay,
well, it's there. It's there.
I need to get better at that.
No, that's all right. That's all right. What
Yeah.
what is the church like? Is it Roman Catholic? Is it like what?
Methodist.
Okay, what does that mean?
That's kind of like, okay, it's the root word in it, method. So it's kind of like we do everything in a certain fashion. Like it's like old fashioned tradition, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Like we go in, we do this, do that. Every once in a while, we would like have like a special little thing to do. Like that's what the youth was kind of for, you know. Like every once in a while, we would come in and we would do like a dance or whatever. And the youth have a dedicated Sunday where they could sing. They are like the liturgists. They do like the scripture reading. They're kind of like the base of like that one Sunday. So that was sort of kind of the church's way of being like, this is our way of keeping the children here, so that they can, so that they can find like fun in church.
Okay, that was going to be my question. Like, what is the experience like? Because, like, when you say Methodist, it sounds like very, like, almost like Orthodox, like, where, like, you go in and everything's, like, kind of monotone. Like, what was the energy?
The energy, it was...
Is it big, like,
on the Sunday.
Gospel choirs? Are you guys all clapping and dancing around?
Yeah. That's a different situation.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to explain that in a second. Okay. But, most of the time, like, it's not like the mood. It's kind of upbeat and joyous, depending on the Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
Now, basically, what I'm saying is, at the moment, I say a lot of churches are having this problem where they're kind of focusing on the wrong groups. Not saying that's a bad thing. Like at my church, what they like to do is they like to focus on the older people because a lot of the members are like really old and they're elderly.
Right.
So they like to focus on them instead of being like, real like active and doing all this kind of stuff. They focus on the elderly and having their service and then like leaving, maybe do a couple of things outside of church for the elderly, but that's about it. Where in our opinion, if you kind of like let the youth like put our opinion inside of it, then it's gonna be a little funner because us, we're like up to date with everything. Like we know what's hot, we know all that kind of stuff. So for us, we could kind of implement that in there and make church a little bit more fun, because like to be completely honest, I'm sorry, but I've fallen asleep in church so many times. Like I love the Lord, hallelujah, all praise to Him, but I promise you, sometimes I'll be in the back, it just like picking my head back up, trying to like make myself stay awake, but it's just boring sometimes. Like it's a Sunday or two where like the pastor may like the sermon may be something where I'm like, yes, this like I connect to it and I remember it. But sometimes I get in there and then I leave and I'm like, wait, what did he just talk about?
It's a terrifying thought when you're like, I just listened to a thing for like an hour and I'm like, I don't recall any of that. What happened to my brain just now?
Yeah. It's weird. I like church though. I do. It's just that I would have to. You kind of gotta keep my attention, Which I feel like that's with a lot of things, with anything. Like even with like video games, you can't just like have a boring game throughout the whole thing. You can have your boring parts, but you gotta kind of keep the person like excited and ready for the next thing,
But what? Okay, so what are the games that kind of like maybe draw that? Strike that balance nice and well, like because you and I were talking a little while ago and refresh my memory, or at least talk to people who like actually weren't there. Most of the people listening weren't there. Favorite games, Kingdom Hearts is up there, right? Is that your number one? Kingdom Hearts 2 is because like that, and I bring that up.
Kingdom Hearts 2 is my second.
And I bring that up because it sounds like that doesn't have that whole, like it's a 90 like 90 or 100 hour game. It can't all be exciting. Like how do you sort of like reconcile that if you can?
For one thing I will say is that Kingdom Hearts 2 is not a 90-hour game. Unless you put the time in and you like go in and 100% it. Which I have done.
And I'm talking out of my ass because I haven't played it. That's my as an outsider looking in, like that's my perception. I'm like, well, these games are forever. So
like most of the time, like okay, my friend David or whatever, he actually just finished Kingdom Hearts 2. And one thing that he did say to me was because he was playing 1 and he was just kind of having trouble getting through 1 because with 1 That one is more like they really try to drive the story into it, and a lot of it is boring. Like I can even admit that a lot of the stuff in it is boring because it's sort of like it's the first one, which I do understand that, but at the same time they don't. It's a lot of fighting parts, but not enough to like keep me in there. Like it's one boss battle in there that you do 3 times. Like you straight up do it about 3 or 4 times, maybe even in a row. Because I've done a boss battle 3 times in a row, different boss, but just different design.
Okay. So you're not saying that you do it over and over again because you're dying. You're saying that like the design is the same, separate bosses, but they're the same.
Yeah, like for Kingdom Hearts 1, towards the end of the game, that's exactly what it is. Until like the final boss, which is a different person.
Yeah.
Once you get there, you'll know what I'm talking about. Okay.
Man, I gotta keep renting this game, dude. And it's like Spider-Man just came out, and Shadow of the Tomb Raider.
Spider-Man first.
Oh gosh.
Like, forget Kingdom Hearts right now. Play Spider-Man.
So should I just take this back for now? Like I could probably get it back another time, really.
Yeah.
But like then I feel like I'm really giving up on it, man. Like I feel like it just like if I don't do this now, I don't know if you feel the same. Like. If like I have it, it's right here. Hi, this is Kingdom Hearts. But I can't. How can I hold Spider-Man in one hand and Kingdom Hearts in the other and go like Spidey can wait like a little bit. Like no, man. You know, it's just.
See, I've had problems like that. I've had problems like that because, like I said, I have like 4 virtual console games. I made the mistake of buying Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time and Super Mario RPG at the same time.
Oh my god.
I beat Ocarina of Time, and I never touched my Wii U ever.
No.
Until like a couple days ago, I never touched it again.
Yeah.
So, like, a goal that I have for the rest of this year is to hopefully beat Super Mario RPG.
Have you ever played it before? Have you beaten it before?
Nope. I played a little bit of it. Like, I got to a point where, like, I had Malloy, and then I think that's about it. Like, I got Malloy, and then I stopped.
But hang on a second. That game would have come out like when you were born. Like why? Like what is the draw to it?
It was because a lot of my favorite games are older games. Like I may have been born in 2000, but a couple of my favorite games. Oh my god!
I thought you were even. Yeah. Oh wow. Okay.
I'm still 18. But yeah, a lot of my favorite games are like they're a little older than me.
Yeah.
Like a couple of the games, like it's one old game that I used to play on the PlayStation. That's called like Splashdown. It's like like a jet ski game.
Yep.
I played that a lot. Those. It was a snowboarding game, SSX, that I played a lot. But a lot of the newer games, like even with the newer games, I don't play a lot of them. I'm interested in them, but I just don't play them because I'm Nintendo. But it's funny because in my household, which I think I have told you before, we have had all consoles at the same time. Like we had a PlayStation 2. We had an Xbox, and we had a Wii. But when I was born, my first console that I played, I could be wrong about this, it's one of these 3. I either played my PlayStation 2, my GameCube, or my SNES.
Oh, snap. Okay, remind me who brought the SNES into the house? Because, like, that would have been, like, this relic
I don't even know. If anything, it was my mom.
Yeah,
because she's really into, like old Mario.
Yeah.
Like my mom is into like the old platform Marios. Like she really liked New Super Mario Bros. When it came out on the Wii. She really played that a lot. And then when New Super Mario Bros. Wii U came out, she played that a lot. But and then my dad, he likes video games too, but he's more into the arcade style video games. So he likes Galaga, Donkey Kong. I don't know if he plays Centipede. He played a little bit of Pac-Man.
Snap, dude! Holy cow, that's awesome. I love that, like the vocabulary of games that you have. That's why I always get a little tripped up on like, yeah, I'm 18. I'm like, yeah, but no, that doesn't really like add up to me. And I'm always curious on like how people end up getting like introduced with games because like for me, obviously, it was just like they were happening like as I was like that age that I would be playing them. But to go backwards is always kind of intriguing to me, especially like with all the new like. I don't know. Maybe it's because you. Is it because like Nintendo is so close and near and dear to your heart that like you, and their whole focus is not necessarily on like power and graphics and the next best thing. Is that sort of like what it's just in you?
Yeah, that's one thing that's always drawn me. Like even when I was younger, like like I said, when I was younger, like the first couple of games that I played were like Nintendo and PlayStation games. Like first PlayStation game I played, if I am correct, was Jak and Daxter.
Nice.
And it's not like it's a pretty game. It's not the prettiest compared to now, but it's still a pretty game. And it's fun to me. I could give less of a fuck about like the graphical like comparison between two games or whatever. Like honestly, if I wanted to, I could buy an old PlayStation and play Shadow of the Colossus if I really wanted to play it. I would do that. Like even with buying Super Mario 64, I had the option to get Super Mario 64 DS, but I chose Super Mario 64 because I know that's the old one and I've already played the newer ones. I could care less about graphics.
Little did you know that was the better one anyways. Like, right? Yeah. Like that's you don't want the DS one.
Even with my number one favorite game, it's a game that nobody knows about, and if you do know about this, I will love you forever. The name of it is Billy Hatcher and the Giant Egg.
I was so hoping I would have heard of it because I just want your love, but no, I've never heard. What is it?
I still love you, Sean. But it's basically it's a Sega game actually, which kind of drew me into Sega more, like into Sonic and stuff. But it's a Sega game, and it's basically about a little kid and his
Sega would have been dead by the time that you were born. Oh my god.
It's about a little. Okay, so the game is about a little kid, right? And his land.
Oh my gosh.
Oh Lord.
Okay, I'm sorry I interrupted.
You good, man? You good? But it's basically about a little kid, right? And his land is being threatened. The game is very weird, but this is still my number one game, and I will play it over and over again. But it's basically about a little kid and his friends or whatever, and their land gets like infected or like gets threatened by crows.
Okay. Crows suck.
It's weird. I know. Yeah. It's basically like a whole bunch of crows, and they kind of take over the entire land. And now that I'm thinking about it, in a really weird way, it's similar to Kingdom Hearts. Because I'm thinking about it now, and I'm like, okay, Kingdom Hearts is about darkness taking over the world, taking over these different worlds. And this game is about crows, which are black, taking over all these other lands. And I'm like, dang.
You know what though, man? Like that's a pretty generic like evil like good versus evil kind of thing. Like darkness taking over is But I see what you mean. It's pretty funny.
Yeah.
It's the classic universal struggle, man. That's why because you like wrestling as well, right? Were you into
sort of when I was younger? I liked it.
Yeah. So and that's the classic like good versus evil. Holy cow, man! I can't even believe this.
And the weird part about the game is, you know how I said the giant egg part at the end of the title?
Yeah.
You don't use regular weapons. You have to collect. You get eggs, you roll them around, give them fruit, and then you hatch them. And depending on what the egg is, sometimes they'll have an animal in it that you can like use as your like buddy, and then sometimes you can just take the egg and roll enemies over. So yeah, it's a really weird game, but it's my number one favorite.
I love
and the weird
that
part
your
about
favorite.
it is I've never beaten it.
Yeah, old games are hard to beat though, man.
But it's funny. I've played it before, and I've gotten to the end. But what I'm saying is, I've never beaten it because I've never gotten to the end of the credits.
Do you think is it a popular enough game? Do you think it's like, could you YouTube this thing? What the heck was it called? Bill and who?
Billy Hatcher.
Yeah.
The Giant Egg.
There it is. At least Google knew what the heck I was out talking about. This looks
just
sweet, man.
If you just type in Billy Hatcher, a baseball player will come up.
Oh, look at this little character. Look at this little guy. Oh, I love it. Okay, that's going to be the thumbnail for sure.
And it's 4 different characters. It's Billy. I think one is shoot, I forgot the names of them. Whatever, that's not the point. But yeah, like that was my number one favorite game, and the reason I say I never beat it is because I always got to the credits, and our disc was very scratched up. So whenever I got to the credits, it would always freeze at one part, and I would never be able to get through the rest of it. So I never have had a save file that has said you have completed the game.
Dang it. That always weirded me out though, like when I don't know why, but in my mind games shouldn't work like that off of a disc. Like with music it made sense, like where you had a certain scratch and like that's where that part of the song would play, and like it made sense that like that part would skip. But like for a game, I don't know why that doesn't make any sense. I don't know if anybody else thinks of it that way. Like,
it doesn't, in my opinion. Like, what do the scratches do to affect the disc?
Right.
Exactly.
Or like the fact that like there's still like information on either side of that scratch, like maybe the game should still work. I don't know. Obviously, it makes no sense.
And I still don't even know which part of the disc it's reading.
That's
which part of the disc is being read.
That's what I'm saying.
Because like the outside of it would be scratched.
Yep.
But then you put it in and the game wouldn't work. And then you're like, okay, I just got to clean the scratch off. But then the inside of it would be scratched too. And I don't know which part is being read. It's weird.
Oh my gosh, dude. I was going to ask you a question. Because, you know, the youth, you're representing the youth of the day today. I wanted to ask you a question, but like, maybe you can't give me, well, I'll ask it anyways. Because I'm curious, like the state, of how people are consuming stuff like reviews, streams, podcasts, and everything like that. Like the nature of how people like make decisions on this is the game I want to buy, right? Is changing, and this is sort of like in response a little bit to what Polygon had done. Probably the most topical thing I've ever done on this show. I don't usually like to like bring up the news and then like do that sort of thing. But your episode goes up on Monday, so we're all good. So Polygon got rid of like review scores, and I just feel like this is either a canary in the coal mine situation of like sites dying and trying to figure out a way to be like stay relevant, or reviews in a way maybe dying, or something like some sort of shift is happening. So I'm always curious, and as somebody who like I don't know what to do about writing reviews. I feel like writing a review, I want to write a review because I think that that's what like an expectation if I were to get a code would be like. But I'm curious, like how are you consuming content in a way that like helps you determine whether or not to buy a game or not? Is it reviews? Like,
well, for me, honestly, I've never looked at a review.
Right.
I don't look at reviews. If I look at the trailer and I'm like, that game looks very interesting, I'm a try to buy it at least, you know? Like, and I have a lot of friends that like, okay, because my friend David, who is someone
What's up,
that,
David?
You know, he looks at reviews. Like, even for like Spider-Man, we were talking a while ago, and he was like, yo, the Spider-Man reviews are coming in like at this time, and I'm like, why are you gonna look at them? Like, and then he was like, cause that's gonna kind of determine whether I buy the game. I was like, I mean, if you really like Spider-Man, you're gonna buy the game.
Yeah.
Either way. But for me personally, I've never really looked at reviews. I mean, like even from movies, music, any of that stuff, I never look at reviews because I would rather go in with a blank state. Like if I'm hype about this game, I want to go in and be like, okay, this is what I'm kind of expecting, and then me judge it instead of me looking at someone else's review and be like, well, I'm kind of scared that this is gonna happen. I'm kind of scared that this is gonna happen. You know?
So do you pre-order games then? Like ever? Because that's sort of like what that says to me is like if I want to go in with a blank slate, then like I want to play day one, or but like I said, like you're mostly playing like older games, so like I'm not sure how that kind of plays out for you.
The only game I've ever pre-ordered was Super Smash Brothers for the 3DS.
That makes a lot.
That's the only game. Well, that and Pokemon X. I pre-ordered that, but that was because I was doing it with my best friend from back home, Gabe. And
what's up, Gabe?
We were, you know, we were just bored, and we were like, yeah, I'm gonna get X, you can get Y.
Sweet.
And then we're both gonna get Smash Brothers, and
that.
That's kind of how that happened.
It's like a blood brother kind of situation, isn't it? Like, you know what? We are bound by you have an X and I got Y. Like we gotta do this together.
That's what we do that every time too. And like I think
those are safe bets too, though, right? Like those are
at the moment.
If you're gonna pre-order a game. Like those are safe bets. The Smash and Pokemon, like they're probably gonna be okay.
You kind of know what it's gonna be every time. Yeah. Except like a little bit of a twist. Like even for Pokemon Let's Go, we're low key fighting over it because of the fact that I think he wants to get Pikachu and I want to get Pikachu too.
Yeah. So what do you can fight to the death? I think.
Yes. That's
Wait, I think that would be bad. Then really only one of you gets. Then you don't have anybody helping.
There can only be one.
What do you like? So what's the rest of this year look like for you? Because like I don't know, for a lot of people they're kind of saying like Nintendo has like a bit of a quiet year, but like I don't know, man. In a year where you've got Smash and a Pokemon game, and then like this sleeper hit of like Octopath kind of coming out and getting sold out everywhere, it's been a pretty good year. But you know, are those games that you get day one? Like Smash has got to be kind of high on your list.
Is a day one.
Yeah,
for sure. I'm saving my money up and I'm getting Smash for sure.
Yeah.
But the only other games that, top of my head, that I could think of, it's only two besides Smash Brothers, and that's Super Mario Party because I've always loved the Mario Party series.
Yeah.
Like in my top 5, Mario Party 4, which is on the GameCube, is in there.
Yep.
And Pokemon Let's Go. Like those 3 are really the games that I'm like, okay, these are the games that I'm definitely gonna get, and I'll determine later on what other games I want to get.
Is there? I need to figure out. I need to look more into Pokemon Let's Go because I remember seeing like they had a Japanese thing when they first announced it, right? And then they had something out come out afterwards. But that was months ago, man. I've slept since then. I don't remember any of it. But I do need to see, like, because I always get excited by, like, Nintendo and the way that, like, it brings, like, especially the community that you and I are a part of together. Like, it's just this weird thing. Like, Splatoon comes out and, like, everybody's playing Splatoon. Or Fortnite gets ported over there, and now everybody's playing Fortnite over there. And it doesn't happen. Like, it just simply, as much as I would love that to happen on Xbox, as much as, like, I know some people would love that to happen on PlayStation, even I would. I just wish it, like, happened in more places, because it really is just, it's magical. So I'm the ramble here, the point of this ramble is that, like, I don't know how Pokemon Let's Go brings us all together. If it does, then I'm, like, all over it. But if it's more like I need a friend next to me, like, well, I got Chelsea, but I mean, she's not gonna want that one. She doesn't listen to the show. She doesn't support me. No, she lets me do it, but that's it.
But okay, because in my opinion, this is kind of a thing with systems, you know, because when you think of Nintendo, like, one of the first things you think is, like, family and friends. Like, you think, okay, I'm gonna have a lot of multiplayer games that I can play, and a lot of people I can play with, because a lot of it's online and all that kind of stuff. Where compared to, like, a PlayStation game or an Xbox game, in my opinion, a lot of it is competitive, you know? Like, Pokemon gets competitive, but the core of it isn't like, okay, I'm training these Pokemon so I can beat everybody across the land, you know? Even though that's in the theme song.
That's really funny. To be the best there ever was?
Yes.
Yeah.
But, I was gonna finish it, but I couldn't remember. For, like, think of Halo. A lot of times when you're playing Halo, like, you're not like, okay, I'm gonna help my friend do this. Instead, you're like, I'm gonna kill my friend because I want to win. Where, like, compared to Pokemon, which I'm comparing apples and oranges here. With Pokemon, the core of it is kind of like trade and, like, fight with somebody, especially in Pokemon Let's Go, where they're adding the multiplayer thing. And even for, like, systems, like, think about Mario Party. Yeah, it's a competitive thing, but at the same time, you get to a point where, like, even at the end of the day, you're gonna love each other no matter what.
I don't know, man. I've had some, like, friend-ending kind of playthroughs of Mario Party, like, throwing the controller. What are these bonus stars? This is garbage.
I hated them.
Yeah.
But
you lost the most, so now you win? That's ridiculous. Yeah.
But, like, with, like, Call of Duty and stuff, you have your teams, but at the same time, there's a big chance where you're gonna blame stuff on lag, and you're gonna be like, okay, this person is better than me, so I'm not even gonna try it. And to me, like, Nintendo is kind of, like, making their games. They're making their games family friendly because of the fact that they know that not one you're gonna have one person in the group that has this system. At least 2 or 3 of them are gonna be like, yeah, I have this system too. Yeah. Like, even with my friend group, like, all 4 of us, I was the one that was like, oh yeah, I'm getting a Nintendo Switch. And coincidentally, 2 of my other friends, they got them before me.
Yep. Yeah, whereas, so, like, where Sony PlayStation or Sony and Xbox are kind of like you're getting one or the other, but, like, that doesn't exist really for Nintendo. Like, I guess you can have it or not have it, but for the most part, it's like everybody's got a Nintendo and then they got one of the other 2. Yeah. So, and then that just makes it so, like, what can I do? What can I expect? Do you know? Like, what are we doing? Like, if I buy Pokemon Eevee, what if I do that for you? Like, is there stuff for us to do over the magic of the internet, or do we have to be next to each other?
Most we could probably do is we could more than likely, like, we could battle, and then we could trade. Like,
every time somebody says, like, battle, I say, like, battle, like the old Mario battle.
That reminded me of, like, in Mario Party 4 when it's, like, the start and the beginning in the really high pitched voice.
Yeah, I was thinking Mario. Yeah, it's exactly the same. There's certain words that, like, that it will trigger Chelsea or I. Like, every time, like, somebody says, like, no, please continue, and she'll. There's in Mario World. I don't even think this is actually a thing. I think she actually made it up. But I think it's Super Mario World. Do 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 do, and then instead of actually going like it goes do do do. Chelsea will say continue. Like, she always. I like
that. I'm gonna do it now. That's clever.
Continue. Oh, dude, I could seriously. We could talk about video games freaking all day long. Do you have music that I can use for the top of the show? Do you have anything that I could use, or should I just go to OC Remix? I probably could have asked you this like after I said like the whole thing's over, but I'm just gonna put you on the spot right now.
I'm gonna look through.
Okay.
And if I have something, I'll give it to you.
They would have heard it by now. That's for sure.
Yeah. If
Cool,
not,
man.
then you could probably just use the Final Fantasy thing I did.
Well, I gotta tell you, man, I'm stoked about. Oh yeah, that is sweet, boy. Yeah, Final Fantasy plus God of War by Johnny Brown 13. Dude, this was awesome, man. Please, as we close things out, I'm definitely gonna have to have you back on the show. At the very least, next February, because that's when we do Black History Month. So you're coming back.
Down. Let's do it.
But I would love to do maybe even something even sooner than that, man, because I'd love to chat with you after your first semester and everything, and after Smash and Pokemon, after all the stuff that we talked about today, after it all comes out. Or maybe even do like a streamcast, man. Come on the stream. We could just like chat over there. Anyways, do whatever. Please tell everybody where they can find you, send you some love on the internet and all that other good stuff. And maybe even like you should post your music somewhere too. You should get on that.
Like I said, I post most of my music MySpace. Yep, that's exactly when I'm gonna post it.
Yep. Bandcamp.
Follow me on Twitter at purplem13. That's my only and main Twitter. And then you can follow me on Instagram. Like I said before, is Johnny.Brown13.
Yes.
Then if you want me on Snapchat, which I never use, that is GW Purple Monkey. And then I think that is it.
What's GW?
And if you want my phone number, I'm just playing. I don't know what GW is. I really just made it up. Most of the stuff, like, it has a purpose, but that one, like, it was random. Like, even for my Nintendo account, it's NN.
Yeah.
It's a Nintendo Network, but that one was just random. I don't know.
I like it. Anyway.
Wait, no, I remember why. It's because when I was making my Spotify, it was going to be the same thing. It was going to be SP.
Oh, that's weird. I like it. Oh, because NN and then SP. Okay, sweet. Cool, man.
Yep.
Well, thank you for taking time out of your studies and out of your I know cooking or the eating is super important.
What cooking?
Exactly. Let's get
the This is it.
Stacks, dude. Thank you so much, man. This has been an absolute joy to talk with you this afternoon. So thank you so much, man.
For sure.
I really was like biding my time, looking to replace my white Destiny PS4 because it was kind of in rough shape. A lot of the problems I had with PlayStation overall is because of some of the issues that I was having with that old white PS4. The HDMI port was kind of going a little bit funky. It didn't have a 5G or 5 gigahertz Wi-Fi signal, so that's kind of like amateur hour. But man, I'm so glad that I did. I'm so glad I put that off because look at this. If you guys are looking at the YouTube video, this is the Spider-Man controller even. Anybody, like, this is the best one you guys did. I am so stoked about this. And also, somebody else has got to deal. My white controller had a little crusty in the touchpad. So anytime I had to use that as an actual button, it was like, so long to that controller. They gave me a good price, good deal. Very nice. $225 for that white PS4. I'm wasting time. I've only got so much time before Jason is here. Thank you, Johnathan, with an H. You follow him on Twitter at PurpleM13. Thank you guys for listening, subscribing. Remember, hit a thumbs up, but you probably already done that. Rate us on iTunes. Also, oh shoot, I should have mentioned at the top of the show because a lot of you stopped listening at this point. Rate the Xbox Drive on Google or Apple Podcasts, and you'll be entered in to win 6 months of Game Pass, which, by the way, will get you Forza freaking Horizon 4 on day one. So you're going to want to do that. You're going to want to win that prize and then play that game for the next 6 months. So do that. Get a bonus entry for sending it to the Xbox Drive. Guys, follow me on Twitter at Sean Capri. Sean like Connor, Capri like the pants. You can follow the website, We the Nerdy. You can follow the show, We the GamerCast. It all helps. All those things help. If that's your way of supporting me and the show, then much appreciated because it definitely helps. And if you want to go one step further, you can consider supporting myself, PSVG, Warp Whistle Gaming, Nintendo Nostalgia, Bad Bit himself over at patreon.com/makeusbetter. It's the best Patreon on the internet because it's the one place that you support a whole slew of us, and we're all getting better. I don't even know at this moment what we've announced, but probably go over to patreon.com/makeusbetter at this point because we probably announced something very, very cool that I'm very excited about. But if we haven't, then stay tuned for that. Guys, I want to quickly say thank you to our artists, and I'm going to apparently knock over lanterns back here. Our artists, Gary Gray and Adam Leonard, and thank you to Antonio Guillen for making the video look so amazing. Otherwise, this has been episode 169, Giggle on Your Own of We the GamerCast. It's now in your ears and your eyeballs. I'll be back next week. I hope you're there too. Now it's time for Jason. Guys, I haven't timed this like this. That's good. I'm going to have a coffee come in here any second now. I think the Chelsea might be having a coffee for me. Here's Big Jason. Bye.
Jason! 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 Sean! 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 Sean, where are you? Jason! 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 Sean! 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 Jason! 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 Jason!